Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I haven't done this in a while. I stopped doing it because I was getting threats and stuff, and I had young children. But the Charlie Kirk situation has compelled me to begin again. The assassination of civil rights activist Charlie Kirk. Yes, civil rights activist Charlie Kirk. His assassination is a stain on this country. And let me say this. Let me say this. Charlie Kirk believed in honest debate. He wasn't a fearmonger. He wasn't a racist. He wasn't a Nazi. He wasn't a misogynist. He was a law abiding American citizen who believed in the ideals put forth by Aristotle, that you come together in the arena of ideas and you battle it out, not with violence, but with communication, dialogue, facts, passion, and emotion. He was not a hate monger. All of these things that people are saying about him are these negatives, these disgusting displays of bad human behavior are absolutely beyond the pale. And those people ought to be ashamed of themselves. And in 10 years from now and in 15 years from now, when they look back on what they posted about the death of a man who didn't break any laws, who didn't cheat on his wife, who wasn't addicted to drugs, who wasn't a smoking and drinking and all this other nonsense. He believed in the Constitution. He believed in his Christian faith, and he was killed for it because they feared him. He was in direct opposition to people who want to overpower people, who want to silence people, who want to use their power to keep Americans down. He espoused the Constitution. He believed in his faith, and he was a good man. And he was murdered, assassinated in the arena for which he was known. He was having debate with people, with students, going about saying, hey, listen, you disagree with me? Come to the front of the line, give me your idea, and we'll go back and forth and we'll discuss it. How many of you are prepared to do that? And I got news for you. I have a lot of people on Facebook who I have asked and I've invited to have one-on-one conversations, and they always have something else they're doing. Oh, I'm a little busy. Oh, I can't do that right. Well, it's not a good time for me right now. No, it's because you fear that the facts and the ideas that I'm going to bring forth, you can't deal with. And so you hide behind the screen. You hide behind your keyboard. Not everybody has their keyboard with them all the time. And sniping back and forth is not the proper way to have a conversation. You have a conversation face to face. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're a coward. And shooting a man in front of his family is the act of a coward. I do not believe that this kid acted alone. If you can call me a conspiracy theorist as much as you want, I do not care. I know that there were at least 3 people involved. I know it. And I've been right on a lot of the stuff I've talked about. And you can bring it up, and I don't care. Bring it up. Put me to the test on what I've said. I've warned you about transgenders. I warned you about what was going on in Europe. I warned you about all these things. And it's not because I'm intelligent. It's because I'm a student of history. And I can see the patterns and I read the patterns. And not only that, I just take people at their word. If you say that our idea is we're going to do X, Y, and Z, then I believe that you're going to try and do X, Y, and Z. I take you at your word. Charlie Kirk was an American hero. He walked the walk, he talked the talk. You couldn't beat him in the arena of ideas, and so you killed him. And these people who are online celebrating his death, they're ghouls. You're despicable humans. You didn't have the courage to talk to him face to face. You didn't have the courage to talk to people who believed in what he believed face to face. You shot him and you killed him. And all those people who are coming out now saying, well, hey, he was a bad guy, but I didn't want him to kill. No, you most certainly did. And that's why you're cheering for it now. The Cory Bookers of the world, the MSNBCs, the CNNs, they fomented this kind of this hurtful and this disgusting rhetoric. He's divisive. He's not divisive. You were divisive because you did not communicate, you did not report honestly what he was saying. Just because you disagree with somebody does not make them a bad person. Elizabeth Warren is wrong. If you disagree with Elizabeth Warren, you're a bad person. No, you're not a bad person. You happen to disagree with Elizabeth Warren. The idea that disagreement makes somebody a bad person. No, go and talk to that person, find out what they're talking about, and then go invest the time to maybe think, hey, you know what? I might be wrong. Have the humility of saying, I'm going to go into this conversation and I might learn something. And even if that person does not prove me wrong, does not give me enough to say, hey, I might be wrong, well, at least now you have a better understanding of why that person believes what they believe. Shooting a man, killing him because of a political difference, it's disgusting. We had 4 assassinations in the 60s that changed the course of the history of this country. John F. Kennedy was assassinated. Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated. Martin Luther King was assassinated. Malcolm X was assassinated. It changed the trajectory of this country. Charlie Kirk has been assassinated because they could not handle what he was saying. He was saying, hey, listen, let's go with the Constitution. Human rights are real. And if you disagree with them with abortion, then fine, you disagree with them with abortion. Tell them why you disagreed. Give them your facts. The problem is they couldn't give him facts. He was an astute student. That's all there is to it. And you killed him. And now these feckless people online who are celebrating his death. A husband is dead. A father is dead. And you're cheering for it. And you're going to have to look at that in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And his children are going to look at that. Would you be willing to say what you're saying about Charlie to his children, to his wife? And if you're not, then you should shut up. What's happening in this country is a disgrace. Don't tell me that the violence is coming from the right. It's coming from the left. Summer of Love. Billions of dollars of damage. 13 police officers dead over George Floyd, for which the left cheers. Convicted felon over 20 times. Assaulted a pregnant woman. The reason why the police were called to George Floyd that day was because he had just committed another crime. And you cheer for this man. And yet you delight in the death of Charlie Kirk. It is disgusting. I'm ashamed of the people who I know who are doing this. You want to have a disagreement about politics, have a disagreement about politics. It doesn't make the other person evil. I don't wish death on any of the people who disagree with me politically. You cheered. You're disgusting. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. And you're cowards. A man is dead. You cheered. I don't like Barack Obama. I think he's one of the worst presidents in the history of this country. If he were to die tomorrow, I would not cheer for it. I didn't like Biden as president. I thought he was one of the worst presidents in the history of this country. As far as I'm concerned, the only one that beats him is Woodrow Wilson. I would not wish them dead. Cheering for a man's death. It's disgusting. He didn't break any laws. He didn't hurt anybody. I'm looking right at you. You disagree with me? Go ahead and disagree with me. Hit me up. I'm cool with it. Totally fine with it. We'll have a conversation. It'll be on my dime. I invite you. I implore you. You sicken me.